Hello students, today I am going to teach you your fourth chapter of your English 1. There is no doubt about it. So take out your books, go to page number 18. We will first learn about the author from there. So the author of this, there is no doubt about it, is Hans Christian Andersen. Hans Christian Andersen. It's given here like in bracket. It's given like 1805 to 1875. What is this? 1805 is the year in which Hans Christian Andersen took birth. Okay, and 1875 is the year when he died. So Hans Christian Andersen was a prolific writer with his works including collections of stories, novels, plays, poems, and travelogues. So here prolific is something like we can prolific means producing many type of works, so it's prolific. And travelogue is something like travelogue is a book about places explained by the traveler. So he have written like a travelogue where he have explained places about where he have visited. He is best remembered, however, as a writer of fantasy stories for children. So he used to write fantasy stories like activity of imaginary characters, okay, fantasy story for children, collectively known as Andersen's fairy tales. What is less known is that all of Andersen's stories are original and not drawn from folk tales or traditions. His fairy tales have been translated into over 100 languages, and there is unlikely to be a child anywhere in the world who has not read or heard at least one of these stories. So yeah, in my childhood also I have read Chris Andersen's fairy tales. Anyways, let's go to page number 15. See, whenever I explain to you the chapter, you just take the book, go to the page number and go through the lines. Okay, so let's start the chapter. There is no doubt about it. So that was a terrible affair. Affair is nothing else but it's an event, it's a matter, we can say affair. There was a terrible affair, said a hen, and in a part of the town too where it had not taken place. Now again, this story, this is like we can say it's been personified, where a hen, okay, a hen, a rooster, a cock, they can speak human languages. Now that was a terrible affair in a hen roost. Now take what is a hen roost? Hen roost is given here in your glossary part. It's a place for hens to perch upon. Perch upon is nothing else but rest upon. Okay, so it's a place where hens used to take rest. Like we have seen many hens, they will place a house. We used to make a house to for a hens or for a chicken to stay during the night. I cannot sleep alone tonight. It is good thing that many of us sit on the roost together. And then she told a story that made the feathers on the other hands bristle up. Bristle up is something like stand up. So what happened? This hen was saying like this hen can't sleep or stay alone. It's like for them this is a horrible story. It's a horror story. Okay, for them only. Okay, so what happened? It's good for them that they were all sitting together, and when she told the story, that made the feathers on the other hand bristle up. Bristle up is nothing else but stand up. Whenever you got a sock or something, what happened? Your hair of the hand, it used to stand up. So it's same thing. Okay, bristle up. There was no doubt about it. Now let's come to the story. What was the thing? But we will begin at the beginning, and that is to be found in a hen roost in another part of the town. So they were speaking about a hen roost, okay, a place where hens are kept, of some other part of the town. The sun was setting, and the fowls is nothing else but they are called the birds collectively. We can say birds collectively like hen, the chicken, the cock. Those are called as fowls, Fowls, fowls. were flying on to their roast. One hen with white feather and short legs used to lay her eggs according to the regulations and was as a hen respectable in every way. So according to them, they respected something like they used to lay eggs and in a normal way, and they used to stay like that. So it's a respectable way of them. As she was flying up into the rose, she plucked herself with her beak. Plug herself is like they have feathers. Okay, so those hens, they have feathers. They are birds. They have feathers. So they pluck one of the feather from their body. Plug herself with her beak, and a little feather came out. So what happened? They plucked. So a feather came out of that hen. There it goes, to say, the more I pluck, the more beautiful I get. So what's according to the hen, what she was saying, like the more she used to pluck those feathers, the more beautiful she becomes. She said this merely for she was the best of the hens, and moreover, as has been said, very respectable. With that she went to sleep. So before she went to sleep, she said like she used to pluck one feather from her body, and she used to say like the more she plucked feather from her body, she used to become more beautiful. So by saying that, she went to her sleep. It was dark all around, and hen sat close to hen, but the one who sat nearest to her merry neighbor did not sleep. She had heard and yet not heard, as we are often obliged to do in the world. So it's like heard and yet not heard. It's something like someone saying to us something. We hear them and we used to say blindly like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it," but we don't hear what the actual thing they're talking about. Okay, then the next moment, what we used to do, we used to ask them like, "Yes, you were saying something. Yes, what was it?" Like that. So yet. So had heard and yet not heard, as you often obliged to do in the world, in order to live at peace. But she could not keep it from her neighbor on the other side of any longer. Did you hear what was said? I mentioned. So it's like say one person goes and talk to the other person, his neighbor, about some story, whatever happens. So this is the same thing. They have been personified like human beings, and what happened? Whatever the thing that hen heard from the other hand, like the plucking the feather, she used to discuss with the other hands. No names, but there is a hen here who intends is the meaning of intends is plans. Okay, plans, plans, intend to pluck herself in order to look well. So now the hen said like there's a hen, she didn't mention any name, so said like she used to pluck her feather in order to look well, in order to look beautiful. If I were the rooster, rooster is like the male domestic fowl, we can say the domestic bird, we can say the domestic cock. Okay, we used to say COCK cock, that's rooster. I should despise her. Despise is something like the meaning is disapprove, or yeah, disgust her or disapprove, we can say. Just over the fowl said the owl. So what happened now? The story spread. How it spread? Just over that fowl means that that hen goes to the other hen yard. Okay, sorry, the hen went to the hen roost. Okay, and there she told one of the hen, and when they were talking, then the owl who was sitting above that hen roost heard their conversation. Just over the fowl said the owl with father owl and a little owl. The family has sharp ears. We all know that owl have sharp ears. And mother owl beating her sharp ears, and they all heard every word that their neighbor had said. They rolled their eyes, and mother owl's beating her wings said, "Don't listen to her." But I suppose you heard what was said. Now mother owl said like, "Don't listen to her," but they have listened it. Okay, because they have sharp ears. They have listened each and every word. Now what happened? I heard it with my own ears, and one has to hear a great deal before they fall off. So I heard it. The mother owl said like, I heard it with my own ears, and one I have to great deal, it should be a great thing before they fall off for the story. Okay, fall off means nothing else, they believe the story. There is one among the fowls who has so far forgotten what is becoming to a hen. Then she plucked out all her feathers and lets the rooster see it. Now the story turns like it happens. Say some rumors were there in the class, okay, about something, any rumors in the class. Now what happened when it spread from one year to other years? Then what happened? The content of the story, it changes. Okay, the content changes. Now the same thing. Now the owl said like the hen that she plucked out all her feathers, not one feather, it's all her feather, and lets the rooster see it. Rooster means the male fowl, we can say the male cock. Pranes Gardi ox and fence, said father owl. So now this father owl, he was a friend. Okay, so this Pranes Gardi's ox, this infants is something like it's a friend's thing. It's a friend's expressions, meaning mind the children or be careful when you speak about the thing. When you be careful about the children when you speak something. So children shouldn't hear such a thing. According to the old, the children shouldn't hear all those things, like the hen have plucked a feather and all these things they shouldn't hear. Okay, according to them, this is the bad thing. But I must tell our neighbor owl about it. She is such an admirable owl to talk to. And with that, she flew away. Now, what happened? The story is spreading one by one. Is spreading. That hen, a neighbor, came to the other hen in other courtyard, and they told the thing. Now, the owl who was above that what we can say hen rose heard the story, and now the mother owl, they said like they have plucked all the feathers, that hen had plucked all the feathers to sort of cock, and now she flew away to the another to some other neighbor of them to spread the story. So with this I'm going to close this video, but in the next video I'm going to continue with the rest part of the story. Thank you.